What if we could just build a new human heart? I mean, a permanent replacement, not just a temporary fix. For decades, that dream was, frankly, more of a nightmare than a success story. But a brand new breakthrough is changing the entire game, and you're about to hear how.
To really get how far we've come, you just have to look at these two moments in time. Back in 1982, the first ever recipient, a man named Barney Clark, was literally changed to a machine the size of a fridge. His suffering was so intense that he begged his doctors to let him die. Now, flash forward to 2024. A patient in Australia gets a totally new kind of artificial heart, and he doesn't just survive, he gets up and walks right out of the hospital a free man. That is the incredible leap we are talking about.
But, these individual stories, as powerful as they are, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. The real reason this technology is so important is the massive worldwide crisis it's trying to solve.
Every single year, 26 million people around the world suffer from heart failure. Just let that number sink in. That's like the entire population of Australia every year, living with an organ that's just giving out on them.
But here's where the problem gets really bad. For those tens of millions who need a new heart, the global supply of donor organs is shockingly small. We're talking about only 6,000 hearts becoming available each year. That's not a gap between supply and demand, that is a massive, gaping chasm.
And what that means is the wait list for a heart isn't just a list, it's a life-or-death lottery. A staggering 1 in 4 people waiting for a donor heart will die before one ever becomes available. That brutal reality is what's been driving the desperate search for an alternative for decades.
And that search, well, it was taken up by one inventor with a really personal reason to succeed. And, you're going to love this, a totally unexpected background. So meet Daniel Timms. He grew up in Australia, and his dad was a plumber. As a kid, while other kids were playing, he was in the garage tinkering with pumps and valves, figuring out how to move fluids around. Then, tragically, that childhood hobby turned into his life's mission when his own father was diagnosed with heart failure.
And you gotta understand, this invention wasn't born in some sterile billion-dollar corporate lab. Nope, it started with trips to Bunnings, which is basically the Australian version of Home Depot. Timms and his dad would literally buy parts off the shelf to build their prototypes. And this quote, it just says it all. "We had a goal between us, can we get the largest receipted Bunnings?" It was just pure passion and ingenuity, born right there in a hardware store aisle.
So, what did all that hardware store tinkering actually lead to? Well, a complete reimagining of the artificial heart. So, let's dive into how this BiviCore device actually works.
The first really big idea was to just ditch the pulsing. Why try to copy the complicated lub-dub of a real heart? It's incredibly hard to do mechanically. Instead, the BiviCore uses a rotary pump. It just creates a simple, continuous flow of blood. It is such an elegant solution, and it gets rid of so many potential problems right off the bat.
And that simple idea is revolutionary for a few key reasons. First, the device has only one single moving part. That part, a rotor, is magnetically levitated. Yeah, like a high-speed maglev train. This means there's no friction and no mechanical wear, which is the problem that plagued artificial hearts for 60 years. And it's all housed in this super durable titanium body, with a smart controller that adjusts the blood flow on the fly, whether you're relaxing or climbing a flight of stairs.
The technology is absolutely astonishing. So does that mean we're on the verge of a future where no one needs to wait for a donor heart? Okay, let's weigh the incredible promise against the current reality.
Well, the path forward looks incredibly promising. I mean, this year, 2024, the first patient went home. Next year, clinical trials are expanding. The inventor himself believes it could be widely available in just 3 years. And some experts are even predicting that within a decade, this could become the standard alternative to a human transplant.
It all sounds absolutely amazing, but here's the billion-dollar question. Is this machine truly ready to replace the biological masterpiece it's modeled on?
All right, let's get a sober look from an independent expert. A successful donor heart can last around 3,000 days. That's nearly 10 years. The current record for the BiviCore is over 100 days. Now, to be fair, that patient then received a donor heart, so we don't know how much longer it could have gone, but the durability gap is still huge. As one professor put it, we have a long way to go before this machine can match the resilience of a human heart.
And then, of course, there's the cost. Right now, one BiviCore device is 200,000 Australian dollars. And look, all new technologies start out expensive,
but this is a significant barrier. The dream is to make heart failure a thing of the past for everyone, but at first it will likely only be for those who can afford it.
So the challenges of durability and cost are very real, but the progress is undeniable. We have gone from a 400-pound machine that caused terrible suffering to a portable device that lets a patient walk free. The leap is just immense, which leaves us with this final, hopeful question. After decades of trying, could a future where no one dies waiting for a heart finally be within our grasp?